Right, so this video is going to be mostly unscripted because I have tons of thoughts regarding the iPhone 16 that Apple just released. And overall, guys, these are actually pretty decent upgrades. Yes, I know there's not much exciting on paper. It's mostly Apple intelligence Apple's flexing with these new phones. But there are some genuine upgrades I do appreciate, so let's compare the regular and Pro phones and delve into my thoughts. So beginning with the regular phones, basically the rumors were spot on. On the front, these are very similar to last year's iPhone 15 models, including the lack of 120Hz, which personally I can look past, but I know there's going to be many who are going to get up in arms once again about that. But look past that, and there are some other nice changes. The first thing is the action button. So the ring switch is officially dead, guys. A moment of silence for that. Nobody really cares actually, because the action button is way better. This of course is programmable to basically do anything you want, and so it's very nice it's finally here on the 16. Now that's not the only new button the regular 16 is gaining. We have a new capture button, and this is basically a haptic button that allows you to control the camera. Essentially it's a shutter button, but you can also swipe on it to zoom in and out. And yeah, it is pretty nice, I can't lie. You know what else would be nice? A sub to the channel, of course. It's free and will bring you the latest about Apple right to your subscription box, so please consider it. It would be appreciated. Join the Saranbyte gang now. Now on the back there is a big change because there is a new camera module, guys. Wow, what a revolutionary change. But jokes aside, Apple's done this because the 16 now gains spatial video support, so you can record 3D video for your Vision Pro, wow! But for those who don't have a Vision Pro lying around because they're not wasting money on that, there are actually some camera changes, namely a new ultra-wide, which is very exciting because we finally get macro support, and overall this ultra-wide should be a massive upgrade over the 15, which of course was using the same ultra-wide from the iPhone 11. The new colors also look quite snazzy. I'm glad to see white's back in the range, and the blue is perfection. Thank you, Timothy, for giving us a lovely blue once again. But most excitingly, we finally have a flagship grade chipset back in the regular iPhones. You see, with the iPhone 14 and 15, they got last gen chipsets, which felt a bit weird because technically these are flagship iPhones as well. It would be nice to get a flagship grade chipset, and thankfully because of Apple intelligence, Apple has given this the regular A18 chipset, and that should be a pretty decent upgrade over the A16 in the iPhone 15. But also with the A18 we do get 8 gigs of RAM because obviously more RAM is needed for these AI features, but also should give you multitasking improvements. Now because of the A18 chipset and a more efficient OLED display, Apple has given us decent battery improvements with the regular 16. Now to be fair, the regular 15s were already pretty good in this aspect, but I'll gladly take any battery life improvements. That's always nice to see. And also thankfully there are thermal improvements. This has been a big issue with iPhones in recent history because they've been overheating a bit, and so I'm glad to see Apple's focusing on that with the 16 series. And well, that's basically it. Obviously there are some new AI features, but we've already heard a lot about that during WWDC, and of course these won't be available just yet, they're coming in October. But overall guys, these are decent upgrades. The prices have stayed the same, so of course if you care about Apple intelligence, you want to be on the bleeding edge of AI, this is currently the cheapest way to get access to that on the iPhone. And yeah, they're not too bad. But now let's get to the pros, because those are the fancy phones. They have all the cutting edge features. So what has Apple given us here? Well, for one, we have the new capture button as seen on the regular 16. That's awesome. But in terms of actual camera upgrades, we have a new ultra wide that's 48 megapixels. That's going to give us much better low light performance. Great news, because right now the ultra wide is a little soft, and so of course if there's no longer any disparity in the quality between the main and ultra wides, that would be a massive upgrade for me. Now the main lens is basically the same, but the telephoto is now 5x on the regular Pro as well. So the Pros are back to having the same cameras across both sizes. That's awesome to see. Now what's also equally revolutionary is being able to pause and resume a video recording. Wow! Apple clearly needed the power of the A18 Pro to achieve this, but jokes aside, that's quite nice. And also we now have 4K 120 support. Now the displays themselves have got bigger. It's now 6.3 inches and 6.9 inches, nice, for the Pro Max. Now another big change on the front are the bezels. They've been cut down once again, which is a surprise to me because Apple usually spaces out the bezel reduction upgrades, but we saw bezel reduction with the 15 Pro, and now the 16 Pro's also got it, and damn are the bezels ridiculously tiny. It's crazy they've managed to achieve this. Now obviously with the Pro models you have an A18 Pro chipset. These are slightly faster, of course that's to be expected, but they have 8 gigs of RAM just like the regular 16s. However, the Pros do have beefier thermals, so if you're a massive gamer you might want to get the Pro models because they will be able to sustain their performance over a long period of time. We have new modems in the Pros as well, and to couple that with the larger batteries and the A18 Pro chipset, and we have sizable battery improvements with both the Pro and Pro Max. That's probably the main thing that'll get me to upgrades. I still haven't decided if I'm going to upgrade, but the 14 Pro Max I have right now does have pretty atrocious battery life, and so if what Apple's claiming is true and these battery life upgrades are substantial, I will definitely consider upgrading. And Apple's also given us charging improvements with the battery life upgrades, so yes, you can now top these phones up faster, that's nice. And there's also a snazzy gold color replacing the horrible blue. So overall, these are spec upgrades, and to be fair, most upgrade every 3 to 4 years nowadays. But I guess because my expectations weren't that high in the first place, I'm pretty satisfied with these phones, and especially if the camera and battery life upgrades are legit, I think these are worth getting over much older iPhones. Obviously remember that AI is going to play a massive role in the feature set of these devices, and we don't have all those AI features just yet. There's a lot of untapped potential with these devices that we'll see play out in the next few months, but as it stands, these are solid iPhones, and I am looking forward to testing one of these in the near future. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching. Right people, today let's talk about all things iMac. We have a new M4 model coming very soon, and there's still rumors about the larger model in the works. So let's dive right in. Beginning with the 24-inch model, Gurman has now told us in multiple reports that this will be one of the first Macs getting the M4 chipset alongside the MacBook Pro and Mac Mini, and it should release towards the end of this year, so probably at an October Mac event, similar to the M3 model last year. Now this news is certainly surprising because it took nearly Apple 3 years to update the 24-inch iMac from M1 to M3, so the fact that updating M4 so soon has caught me off guard a little, I can't lie. I've always argued it makes sense to not upgrade the 24-inch iMac very often because it's a low volume product and the user base for the machine, schools and families, likely won't care about having a slightly faster chipset, but hey, I'll guess I'll take the 0.001% faster performance. And that's likely it for the changes, but I would like to see some new colors and also Type-C accessories launch with this new model because we need to eradicate lightning off this earth immediately. You know what else you should be doing immediately? Subscribing to the channel, of course. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would bring you the latest about Apple right to subscription box, so please consider it. It would be appreciated. Join the Saranbyte gang now. Anyways, let's now talk about a higher end or larger iMac that's been in the works for a long time. I remember talking about this during the early days of this channel with a baby version